today's video, we're going to talk about jazz rock, fusion, improvisation, and I'm going to help you get into that style. If you want to, of course, if you like the sound. If you don't, well, skip this video, watch another one. But if you like that kind of sound, it's easier than you think, as long as you focus on the right work. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show exactly what you need to work on. It's going to simplify everything. Grab your guitar. We will get started right after this. Hello, my name is David Wallman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world find their voice on the instrument to tell their own personal musical story. And today, yes, today is about jazz rock, fusion, or fusion, like my friend Tom Quayle would call it, right? You have to have the quotes all the time. I don't know why. Anyways, we're going to talk about that, and it does not require many scales. The scales that you already know are enough for this genre. Now the backing track we're using, this one right here, the one you heard in the intro, is available for free. It's kind of a Dorian kind of vamp. Very, very simple and beneficial for this kind of exercise. We're going to use this throughout the lesson. You can get that for free. The link is below. You just need to sign up to get access to the assets of this video and all the other videos. I started doing that in 2019. Just sign up once and watch the video, download the backing tracks and all that, and it's free. So go ahead and grab that. But for now, let's take a look at this concept that we need to work on. I've talked about it before, but in music, the most important thing when you're improvising is rhythm. Now, I'm not saying that the other things are not important, but rhythm is the thing that is going to carry your improvisation and make more sense. It's better to play the wrong notes with a good rhythm sense and a good rhythm improvisation rather than good notes with poor rhythm phrasing. It's really, really important to get this. So that's exactly what we're going to work on. So the scale we're going to use, there are many that we can use here, but we're going to consider this a Dorian track because it is Dorian. Play anything else is not going to work unless you add the rhythm, which is what we're going to do. So E Dorian, we're going to work in this first position right here. Now the charts are also available right below, but the cool thing with the modes is that you find within these modes hidden pentatonic scales. So for instance, if I play that E Dorian mode, within that mode I find a minor pentatonic scale, and that's very beneficial. So if you don't know how to play the Dorian, play your minor pentatonic in its first position and add the major second and the major sixth, and you will have the Dorian mode. Now positions are kind of irrelevant here, but we need to have a home base. So that's why we're playing in that first position. What I mean by home base, those are the notes that you're gonna be able to rest on. So when you improvise, you're gonna have a flow of ideas coming out, a flow of ideas that's mentally draining. So I take a break by landing on a note like I just did there. So I can take a breath and go back. Breath, and I can go back. That recharges your brain. If you were doing just a constant flow of notes all the time, at some point you would experience what I call the freak out. It's my mind telling me I'm freaking out. And it's important to realize that because that is the stumbling block in improvisation, that freak out thing. Demonstrate where the freak out is here. It's you'll hear it at some point. Freaked out. I was playing wrong notes. It was starting okay, and at some point I lost that thread. So we're going to strengthen that thread, which will allow you to work on this genre of improvisation with the rhythm phrasing. So the first thing you need to do is have a subdivision. So subdivisions are really important. Let's say that we have a beat like this. The subdivision is going to be guided by the style of music. It's more like this actually for the track, and your comfort on the instrument. So typically in Western music, 16th notes is where it's at. You know, think rock, funk, fusion like we're doing. 16th notes is typically what people phrase in. Slower than that, it's going to sound not as appealing and interesting. faster can sound really cool, but it's a little harder. So 16th note is a good balance, I think, to get started with this. So that means that you always have to have this thread here. So over the backing track, if we have this, to our tempo, that's the flow of notes that we're going to play. That doesn't mean that you need to play these notes all the time. But if you were to play a note, it should fall under the subdivision. So it could be da-ka-da, da, da-ka-da, da-ka-da-ka-da-da, da, da-ka, da-ka-da-ka-da-da, da-ka-da, da-ka-da. So that is the thread. And if you lose that, if your mind is not engaged with that rhythm thread, that's where the freak out happens. So to fix that, we're going to start building short musical ideas that are kind of unplanned so that we can go back after that and start planning them. I lost my pick and here it is. Okay, so we're going to give that a try. I'm going to start within my home, go outside of the home, and then back in. And to do that, to play outside, I'm going to use two things. I'm going to use a combination of chromatic notes, which basically, if you see your scale here, you can fill in all the empty notes. And I could take that a half step above. I could play anywhere I want really with these chromatic notes. It's like you have the full fretboard filled with all the notes and just try to create ideas that ascend or descend in a chromatic way. Okay, so we're going to combine that with some shapes. So the shapes that I use are diagonal shapes, and they don't really mean anything. They're just shapes. So one of these shapes might be, if I'm playing on strings 1, 2, 3, on the third string, I have fret number 14. On the second string, 13, and the first string, 12. So just look at it as a shape, a diagonal shape like this, that you can actually start anywhere you want. Any string, any fret, it doesn't matter. And you could reverse that too. And if you combine these three things, the in-home scale, so that's Dorian, chromatic, shapes, at some point you want to land in. So I'm going to start playing with these three things until I find something interesting, and then we'll work on fixing the freak out that could happen. So I'm going to just improvise a little bit until we have something. I'll start in. So I'm always hearing taka 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 taka. I'll go outside with a shape. Back inside. All right, so how do you fix that freak out? Well, it's really easy. We do it very naturally, but we tend to forget about it. We just speed things down. Why? Well, because here's what's going on. When you slow things down, it gives your brain, which is controlling all the taka 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 and all the phrasing taka taka ta taka, all feeling all those things. The brain is very receptive to that. It gives your brain a chance to really assimilate that. At a faster speed, your brain is checking out really fast. So if we slow things down, your brain is going to be more actively involved. And as you're working on these, we're going to do it in a second, your fingers are going to acquire the ability to translate that into muscle movements. Okay, we do it all the time, right? That explains why when you first started playing a minor pentatonic was very difficult, but you did that enough that now you can play it really fast. So that's what is happening in the improv context. So here's our track. I slowed it down 80%. So instead of 100, which is full speed, here is 80, a little slower. And there's no rules here. You can go slower than that if you need to. It really doesn't matter. But once you have that, you start phrasing with these three areas of focus that we talked about. The full home scale, all these notes are in. The chromatic thing, and the shapes. Okay, I'm going to phrase a little bit with that. See, when I was outside there, well, my brain can have a tendency to wander off because the notes don't really match what I'm hearing here. But because of the speed, I can take control over it and really focus this time on the taka 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 and focus on going back in. Still feel that this is a little fast for me because I experienced the freak out a little bit. So I could just keep going down until I really feel that I am competent to execute these ideas without the freak out happening. It doesn't sound like much doing it that way, but eventually I can speed up, and if I play like that at full speed, it would sound pretty fusiony, and some ideas would be, I think, pretty cool to explore. Anyways, that's what I have for you. I'm gonna leave you with that last solo that I did full speed, and I could get to that point if I just gradually got there, right? Training my fingers to respond to what my mind is telling them. And remember, you can get the backing track, the charts, all of that is available for free. Just follow the link below and sign up to the free course if you haven't already, and it'll give you access to this video and all the others, all the backing tracks, all the charts. And if this was your first visit, thanks so much for stopping by. Consider subscribing because Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is new video day here on the channel, and the channel is all about helping guitar players around the world find their voice on the instrument to tell their own personal musical story. Thanks so much for watching this. Practice well.